Yes, 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 it's Raphael Dawkins Combat Radio with another one. And if you've not subscribed already, then please kindly consider doing so if you enjoy the content. Okay, and today we're going to have a quick look at the words of, well, the words of a few people. Firstly, the words of Eddie Hearn, and then the words of David Higgins, the manager, ex-promoter, now manager of Joseph Parker. Okay, and it's in relation to the billing, the position of the Chisora Parker fight on the bill of the Regis Prograis versus Josh Taylor card at the O2 London, October. Okay, where are we? Let's get into the proper screen. And let's have a listen to what Eddie Hearn had to say.
I think Dereck feels like he should be main event. I think that's what he thinks. I mean, do you think he should?
Surely this is discussed beforehand.
It is, and it was discussed with his promoter. And
what? And what? And what, my friend? Don't keep us waiting, Eddie.
He was co-main event. So nothing's
what, you're keeping us? Eddie, please, stop doing this.
You know, whether that was explained to him or not, I don't know, or whether he should.
Okay, so, long story short, Chisora v Parker is co-main event on the Regis Prograis card versus Josh Taylor, co-main event. So I don't know exactly what the problem is. If it's co-main event, well, I do actually know what the problem is, but we'll get into that in a second. Okay, so first let's have a listen to the words, or let's look at the words of David Higgins. Where is he? Where is David Higgins? There he is. There's the article. Okay, so, David Higgins. David Higgins agrees Dereck Chisora versus Joseph Parker should be the main event, not the co-main event. That's the important difference there. Okay, let's get into it. So, following Dereck Chisora's outburst yesterday saying he deserves to be top billing for the October 26th card, currently headlined by Regis Prograis and Josh Taylor. Joseph Parker's, says promoter here, but I'm pretty sure he's the manager now. Eddie Hearn, Matchroom are the promoter. David Higgins said he actually agrees with Chisora's comments. Higgins explained to Sky Sports that while Prograis Taylor may be the more prestigious fight in terms of status, Chisora Parker is definitely the bigger event, he says. Okay, Higgins goes on to say, technically, Prograis Taylor is more elite in terms of titles, but in terms of fan favorites and exciting boxing matches, Parker Chisora is the bigger event, so I agree with Chisora. That being said, our side doesn't really care as much. Joseph has never been one to have ego issues or worry about stuff like that. He knows what the job is, and it will be to punch Chisora in the face and shut him up. Okay, so it seems like Higgins is the mouthpiece of the operation. Joseph Parker keeps it nice and calm, but Higgins, he's assumed the role of the agitator. He'll do Parker's smack talking for him. The article goes on to say Chisora, who claimed Eddie Hearn and Kale Surland, how do you pronounce that? We're just using him to sell out the O2 for less marketable fighters. Seems to have warmed up to the idea of getting there. That's a picture of Chisora on his Instagram or Twitter. With Chisora kind of bending over with a jar of Vaseline in his hand. Oh dear. Oh, not very Not very pleasing sight. All depends on your orientation, I suppose. Some people might get quite excited about it. You know, each to their own. Okay, so we've heard the words of Eddie Hearn. Turned Dillian White into a zombie there. Look at that. Looks like something out of Star Trek. Okay, heard the words of Eddie Hearn. Chisora v. Parker is the co-main event. But, you know, they're looking into it. I mean, if the public, you know, if there's a public swell of opinion that it should be different, then Hearn has said that, you know, obviously Sky will have to look at that. And we've also heard the word of Higgins. Quite interesting that Higgins says we haven't got a problem, we haven't got an ego, we don't really care about that sort of thing. But wasn't it Higgins who was crying? Wasn't it Higgins who was crying in his beer that Parker was the B-side to Chisora? B-side meaning Chisora's getting more money. Yeah, that was the whole point of the argument when Higgins was crying that Parker should be the A-side, and they don't understand how Chisora is the A-side and they're the B-side. That was all about money. We're talking about A-side in monetary terms. Okay, so I think we've covered everything. Is there anything left to cover? No. Yes. Parker is being, or rather Chisora is not being trained by Dave, what's his name? What is his name? It has escaped my attention. It escaped my memory. What is Chisora's trainer's name? Cordwell. It's a damn good thing I had it written down. Dave Cordwell. Totally went out of my mind. Not traveling up. Chisora's not traveling up to Sheffield to be trained by Cordwell for this fight. Very disappointing. Cordwell has apparently got him into real good shape. Best shape he's been in for a long time. So I don't know how they're gonna navigate that one. I imagine. Oh, there's that picture I mentioned. I imagine. Let's get that off there. We don't want any problems. I imagine that David Hay himself will be working in the gym with Chisora to a certain extent while they locate, identify, find, contractually engage a trainer to train him for this Parker fight. But I mean, how many weeks is it to go? It's September, October. It's like what, 1 month? What's the date? September the 10th. So this is mid-September. I think the fight's in mid-October, mid to late October. Yeah, you got about 5 weeks. Oh dear. Well, obviously they've known this before, so they've been working in the knowledge that they're not traveling up to Sheffield, staying down south. So that's it. It's Raphael Dawkins. It's the Combat Radio. It's the like. It's the subscribe. It's the comment.